Looking behind, it is a good idea to check traffic behind you often. This way, you will know if cars are tailgating or coming up behind you too fast. You may have time to get out of the way before being hit from the rear. It is very important to check behind you before you change lanes. Slow down quickly, back up, or drive down a long or steep hill. On long steep downgrades, keep a lookout for large vehicles, which can gather speed very quickly. Whenever you change lanes, check behind you to make sure you are not getting in the way of cars in that lane. Changing lanes include changing from one lane to another, entering a freeway from an on-ramp, entering the road from a curb or shoulder. To be sure a lane is clear before moving into it, you should use your mirrors. Turn your head and look in the lane you want to enter. Before changing lanes, always check traffic behind and beside you. Always signal about 5 seconds before making a lane change. Checking your mirrors. Glancing over your shoulder to make sure your path is clear. Only using your mirrors may cause you to miss vehicles hiding in your blind spot. Check traffic on the sides of your vehicle, but don't take your eyes off the road for too long. Watch for other vehicles that may be planning to move into the same spot you are in. They may have their turn signal on. Backing up. Backing up is always dangerous because it is difficult to see what is behind your vehicle. Before backing up, check first to ensure the area behind is clear. If you are backing in a straight line or on an angle to the right, turn your body and head to the right, but check left frequently if there is a possibility anything could be coming from that direction. If you are backing up on an angle to the left, turn your body and head to the left, checking right periodically. Remember, your front end will swing wide as you turn. Ensure there are no objects in its path. Avoid backing into a blind area without a guide. The passengers can help you as a guide to avoiding accidents. Cars aren't designed to spend much time in reverse gear. The steering behavior of a car is off when backing up. It operates counter to your intuition and can surprise anyone merely because things happen you don't anticipate. Going forward, rear wheels follow turned front wheels inexorably. But in reverse, your front wheels head in the opposite direction from your rear wheels. Bumpers are more widespread than expected. So, the dynamics of controlling your car in reverse are challenging. After all, cars are essentially designed to travel in the other direction. Rearview mirrors work best when cars are going forward. Rearview mirrors are surprisingly difficult to use in reverse. The combination of a mirror image and reverse response steering directions can be confounding. So, trying to back up guided only by your mirrors is almost certain to end in a sorry result. Even when you turn your head, as prescribed, looking backward, most vehicles offer bad visibility. Whenever you need to back up or back out of a parking space, follow these rules. Check behind the car before you get in. Children and pets are hard to see from the driver's seat. Turn and look over your right shoulder when backing up the vehicle. Do not depend solely on looking out a side window. Always back up slowly to avoid collisions. If you have to back up around a corner, go very slowly and turn the steering wheel in the direction that you want the rear of the vehicle to go. In areas that are constricted such as parking lots, try to avoid the need to back up, which is always preferable, by finding parking places that do not require you to back out of them. Proper lane use. Special lanes. In high-density traffic areas, you may sometimes see an entire street or a few traffic lanes on a street marked with cones. The cones indicate that a lane or street is being used differently. For instance, to help relieve congestion at sports or cultural events, entire streets or a few lanes will be used for traffic going in the opposite direction from what is normal until the traffic congestion is cleared. Lanes for through traffic. Many roads have 2 or more lanes going in your direction. Broken white lines separate these lanes. You must choose which lane to use. Drive in the lane that has the smoothest flow of traffic. You will save fuel. If you can choose among 3 lanes on your side of the road, pick the middle lane for the smoothest driving. If you want to go faster, pass, or turn left, use the left lane. If there are only 2 lanes in your direction, pick the right lane for the smoothest driving. Don't weave. Stay in one traffic lane as much as possible. Before changing lanes, check your mirrors for vehicles that may be ready to pass you. Also, turn your head and check beside your vehicle to see if any vehicle is in your blind spot and to be sure there is enough room for your vehicle in the next lane. Once you start through an intersection, keep going. If you start to make a turn, follow through. Last-second changes may cause collisions. If you missed a turn, continue to the next intersection and work your way back to where you want to go. Bicycle lanes, a solid white line along either side of street 4 or more feet from the curb, separates a bicycle lane. This line will usually be a broken line near the corner. The words "bike lane" are painted at various locations in this lane. Don't drive in a bike lane unless you are making a right turn at a corner or other entrance such as a driveway. Then drive your vehicle into the bike lane no more than 200 feet from the entrance or corner before your turn. Watch for bikes before entering the bike lane. You may park in the bike lane unless there is a sign saying "No parking." Pedestrians are not allowed in bike lanes when there are sidewalks. Drivers of motorized bicycles should use lanes carefully to avoid collisions with bicycle riders. Safety zones. Don't drive through a safety zone. This space is set aside for pedestrians. Raised buttons or markers on the road mark a safety zone. You will most often see safety zones in areas where streetcars or trolleys are using the same streets as vehicle traffic. Sidewalks. Never drive on a sidewalk unless you are crossing a sidewalk to enter or leave a driveway or alley. When crossing a sidewalk, stop for any pedestrian passing lanes. Never drive off the road's paved or main traveled portion or on the shoulder to pass. You will know the edge of the main traveled portion of the road by the white line painted on the road surface. When you want to pass a vehicle or bicycle going in your direction, pass on the left since passing on the right is dangerous. Passing on the right. Passing on the right is permitted only when safe. If the other driver is making a left turn, you can pass them on to the right. Don't pass on the left of a driver who has signaled a left turn. You can also pass on the right if you are on a highway where there are 2 or more marked lanes for vehicles traveling in the same direction. You cannot pass on the right if it means you have to drive off the paved part or main portion of the road. If you do pass on the right, never honk. You may startle the other driver, and because the norm is to pass on the left, the driver you are passing may assume you are on the left and crash into you. If you need to move into another lane, move only after you have finished a turn you want to make and when traffic is clear.